that? I think Josh put that up there.
That's Scam the Island.
Yeah, Sheth is coming. Sheth already came.
Yeah, Sheth did come.
Spoiler alert, Sheth won.
He came, he saw, he won.
He conquered.
Well, it's like Son conquered himself. He just kept doing the...
Either way, Sheth, he conquistadored.
He conquistadored.
Yep.
I don't know why you're saying something like that. Didn't you recently study abroad in Spain?
Yeah.
It sounds a little disrespectful, man.
How is that disrespectful? It's
I don't
Spanish.
know.
Conquistador.
Conquistadored?
Yeah, man.
That's using a Spanish word with English endings. That's disrespectful to the Spanish language, man.
You have an interesting notion of what is disrespectful. And there is MMA. So for those of you who don't know, the next matchup is MMA versus Puzzle.
MMA, according to the tooltip, has no weaknesses. He's just confident and adjusts well to his opponent's builds.
Well, runner-up.
That's a weakness, I guess.
It is a weakness.
And not only was he a runner-up, but he lost 4-0.
Yeah, it happens.
It does happen. Cole played really well in that Super Tournament Finals.
Yeah, he did.
But MMA did really well at MLG as well, so don't count this guy out.
He won. They're like, oh, he did well. Like, yeah, he won the tournament.
Yeah, he has lost every broadcasted game he's ever been in. And he likes gateway units. That makes it sound like he likes to eat them. Likes gateway units.
He goes out to lunch, he has some gateway units. Yeah, I'd like 2 Zealots, a Stalker, 3 Sentries,
and can you chrono boost that?
Yeah, and let's do it all in a timing attack. To go.
Well, the thing about Puzzle is he's actually been one of those players that the Koreans have talked about a lot. They said, this guy, I meet him on the ladder, he's so good, he's so strong, he's so dangerous. They haven't been saying that as much recently, but there was a time where people were saying Puzzle is one of the best players out there.
Really?
Now, he's just barely managed to qualify for Code A. We haven't really seen him otherwise. He's played in the Team League, lost every time. So, we'll see though.
We are actually going to be playing 2 basically GSL exclusive maps, Zelnaga Fortress and Belshir Beach. Both maps I haven't played a whole lot.
Yeah, Terminus Re is a map that's used a lot more in several different tournaments. It's a map that everyone kind of has to practice on. I don't actually know why Terminus Re isn't in the ladder map pool because it should be.
It's a pretty solid map.
I like it.
There's not much wrong with it. And the game is starting here. MMA doing a little pre-flex. Pre-flex.
So he wasn't flexing, he was getting ready to flex before he flexed, before we get into the game?
Well, yeah, because the game is the flex, but he's doing a little pre-flex so that when the game starts, he can really flex.
Oh, okay. I gotcha, QXC. I'll write you some notes later.
Okay.
QXC wants to pass notes like we have a crush on each other and we're in 3rd grade again. It's like, I'm going to write, I like you, and I give it to you, and you're like... Then you pass me a note, they're like, I don't really like you that much, and then my dreams are crushed. All right, let's jump into it. All right, over here at the top left, member of the team Slayers. His name stands for, well, I won't tell you because it'll give it away. Very strong Terran. 1 MLG. It was the runner-up of the Super Tournament. He is...
Slayers MMA.
I like that one. That was a good one. That one wasn't weird. Well, it was a little weird, but it was still good.
I think a little better balance would have been good, but
Maybe.
I liked it. I give it about a 9 out of 10. Yeah. And in the right side, the yellow Protoss.
Puzzle.
That was fast. I also wasn't prepared. I keep forgetting that happens. It goes to the other player, and I'm like, oh, what?
Well, Puzzle, I wonder how mysterious this guy is. I mean, can MMA find the proper pieces? Can he put them on the right side? Is he going to start with the corners, or is he going to start with the sides?
There's too many pieces in this puzzle. He's going to have to take it, lay it. Oh, hail to the king.
MMA fighting. It's one of our foreign fans.
The king Terran? I guess if he's coached by the Emperor, then being the king seems reasonable.
That seems reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that. MMA is now known as the King Terran. Tweet that, retweet it, double retweet it.
Hashtag GSL.
Reply like words.
Hey QXC, what's your Twitter?
QXC0000. 4 zeros. Follow me on Twitter. I tweet about when I do stuff, play games and whatnot. What's the GOM TV's Twitter?
It's just GOM TV. GOM TV.
Better follow them too. Check out more GSL. We got a great lineup coming up. 4 more sets of games today, casted by Wolf and One Rex Expand from MMA.
You're just all over the place, man. Casted by Wolf and One Rax Expand.
It's a new Code A caster.
Well,
Are
before I mention my Twitter,
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the fact that this build right now is almost the only TVP build I have seen in the GSL here recently. Like, almost always, people are doing this build. They go One Rax Expand, add some more barracks, add their gases. They get a 2-base Ghost Academy timing and pressure off of that. It's almost the only build people are doing right now. The Koreans in this matchup, just going One Rax Expand. It's really, really popular right now.
It's a very strong build. It's safe against a whole lot of things. One thing that is important to note, why does the Xel'Naga Tower have like a health bar?
It has a timer because after 8 minutes, it explodes.
Does it really?
Yeah, I'm actually serious. It really does explode after 8 minutes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, but that looks like it's going to run out before 8 minutes. So
Well, it's 8 real minutes, but it's different in game.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
Yep.
So we are going to see. I mean, the One Rex Expand gets a good economy. It's very safe against a lot of things. And what is Puzzle doing?
Well, Puzzle looks like he wants to go for a one barracks, or excuse me, one gateway expand. Off of 2 gas, so he's getting a lot of gas up so he can kind of tech. He may go into Dark Templar after doing this. A lot of players have been doing that recently, just kind of going into the mid-game DTs.
And
So, well, I was just going to say, so he's kind of behind in the sense that his Nexus is going to be up way late compared to MMA's Command Center. His Command Center is just now in Orbital. He's got dropping two mules at a time. 2 mules? He dropped the 2 mules at the time?
Moves coming out.
And so he's going to be relatively ahead in that regard, but it does give Puzzle the opportunity to tech faster.
Can we see what MMA's vision is?
Yeah, I'll check that out for you right now.
Actually, this is really good. The main thing with the One Rex Expand is you need to see when the Protoss expands so that you know, and he's proxying a Twilight Council, so we are probably going to see some very fast Dark Templar. But what I was saying is, as a Terran player doing this build, you need to see when the Protoss takes their expansion. Nice snipe by MMA. Puzzle taken by surprise there. This is actually can be a really strong timing attack. And basically the idea here is to trade those Marines for sentries. Marines become less and less useful the longer the game goes on. MMA opting not to do that style of play, something that some players have been doing, and the Dark Shrine does go down.
Yeah, so like I said, when you do take that Nexus and your opponent already has the faster one, you've already got 2 gas, you just have to do something like this. You have to use some sort of tech. You can get a robotics, but Dark Templar seem to be the more popular route. Now, Puzzle actually would have died completely if those Marines attacked. He only had 3 sentries, and he still only has 1 gate. His second and third gates are just now finishing up, but he would have been in so much trouble. So I like that little pressure move by MMA. It freaks Puzzle out. He's like, oh, I could actually die right now. I have to add more gateways now. I can't sort of think about what I'm doing. I can't slowly get some upgrades. I just have to add these gates now. And MMA, instead of getting that Ghost Academy, he's actually opting to go for a very fast reactive starport.
And one thing that's from MMA's end, when he sees those 3 sentries, or the 4 sentries and the 1 Zealot, he's got to be thinking to himself, why aren't there more units? Because Protoss should have more. And he's kind of following the fairly standard timing for the engineering bay. Around when the starport finishes or is about to finish, you get that engineering bay. That makes you safe against almost all the 2-base Dark Templar timings. And hopefully we'll see a turret come up. We do have a pylon very close, and Dark Templar are warping in right now.
He does have enough for 2 scans. Oh, actually, he just dropped a mule, so
don't
just
drop
1
mules.
scan.
Don't do it. Don't do it. The Dark Templar are coming in. Oh, don't. Oh, this is so tense. Right here, this is where the game can basically be decided.
Yeah.
And it looks like, did MMA just drop? He just dropped Mule. He does have 1 scan. Basically what he'll be able to do is either hold his main or his natural. He won't be able to hold both with that 1 scan.
And this Dark Templar does
very nice surround by MMA. Great move, takes the second and third Dark Templar. The problem now is he needs to get the turrets up.
Yeah, he does have 1 turret about to finish next to this ramp. It will finish in time for the DT.
Very nice, good timing. Just needs concussive shells so that he can keep those Dark Templar from running away. He also doesn't have combat shields. He's really going to need combat shields.
When you don't have combat shields, DT is of course 1-shot every Marine, so it gets very difficult to deal with that. And he's actually going to maybe go for the engineering base, kind of being a little bit indecisive with
Puzzle,
his DT in the main.
I'm really not liking the like the DTs themselves. They're great, but you need to target something. He did about 500 damage to the orbital, which, I mean, the orbital's not going to die.
Yeah.
Killing supply depots is really, really good. Terran player defending against Dark Templar, you get kind of distracted. It's easy to forget to build supply depots, and we can see Puzzle. We just got a shot of his natural. He's got 3 cannons there because he knows one of the things he's vulnerable to. If MMA had just taken his army and gone and attacked Puzzle, he would have had a very hard time defending that.
All he would have had to do is just maybe save a few scans, or get a Raven, but most likely would have saved scans since he has the reactor there.
Yep.
And again, this DT going to be very annoying. Like you said, without combat shields, it becomes very difficult to deal with those DTs. You don't want to scan every time you see a DT if you can help it. A Ghost is about to pop, and that becomes helpful as well. This DT getting 3 kills, just hiding over here outside of that turret's range.
And this is kind of what we saw in Sheth vs. Sun. He uses a couple of units to deny the exterior patches just to force his opponent to react to it. Either he moves the SCVs away or he loses them.
Exactly. Now, Puzzle's getting a little bit apprehensive about possible drops, and that SCV sees that pylon powering those. If he decides to go and attack, it's going to be very difficult for Puzzle to hold that.
That's actually a pretty good 2 structures to kill.
Yeah, especially if he gets it before charge finishes.
Yep. Getting it before charge finishes, even just getting those 2. Basically what you do, Protoss is committed to Templar tech. They're getting plus armor, he's getting the Templar archives, but if you can kill the Twilight before the Templar archives goes down, suddenly Protoss is in a really weird position because they've got all this stuff that should be gearing towards Mass Zealot, Archon, High Templar play, and then they can't make the Templar archives.
Exactly. Plus, it also stops you from getting +2 upgrades for attack or armor.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You do need the Twilight to get those higher level upgrades.
Yeah, so it's pretty huge if you lose it. But it looks like he is going to get that charge upgrade. His +2 armor is getting about halfway done. And he's just continuing to move around the map with small groups of units, or just one single unit. A Zealot moving around, a Dark Templar moving around, just scouting everywhere, dropping pylons, leaving probes places so he can spot for drops and make sure that MMA hasn't yet taken the 3rd base.
And Puzzle is actually looking very strong right now. This Mass Zealot timing may just end up killing him. Zealots with the +2 armor.
Yeah, plus Guardian Shield on top of that, so it's like having +4 armor. Plus the Zealots already have 1 armor. They're just so good against Marines. And right now, MMA actually only has 5 Marauders. He's got a mostly Marine army.
That's actually good until Storm finishes. Marines are really the killers against Zealots. Marauders aren't quite as good. But it's just going to be, he's in a very hard spot. If he can get a good EMP on those sentries and or High Templar, that would be nice. But we're going to see a big timing attack in just a moment here. +2 armor just finished. Psionic Storm is about to finish. And
he's got enough energy for about 4 or 5 storms. There are enough energy for about 5 EMPs, though, for MMA.
MMA needs to split his army up. Oh, and he gets baited into that. Very nice. But the army is a very nice EMP. Sick move by MMA. And here we see MMA going on the offensive. Basically, he just needs to stim and gun down this army. And Puzzle knows he has to engage. He doesn't have a choice. Making the Archons a little bit too late. Would have liked to have seen those Archons a little bit earlier. But MMA doing a fantastic job of microing, controlling his units very well, splitting them up, taking out the Zealots.
Great job with those storms as well. The EMPs rather. The EMPs hit every sentry and every High Templar, so he was able to crush all of the energy on those units.
He basically took a battle that was almost a guaranteed loss and took it and made it into a relatively even engagement. I'm not going to say MMA is going to win, but he's definitely
that was what he needed.
Yeah, that was really, to get back into this game, he basically was down almost 40 supply, and now he's down
about 30 supply.
Yeah.
And the problem is, though, during all of this, Puzzle took a 3rd base. He's got it very secure. He's even making photon cannons there. Nothing's really going to escape. He's not going to get dropped there, and he's going to be able to clean up any sort of drops that occur. He already has that Templar tech. Now, I'd like to see him now add robotics, and actually he is starting a robotics facility now. I'd like to see him start kind of adding in some Colossi to his mix eventually here, because you can do that off of 3 bases.
Yeah, definitely. And MMA's in a really tough spot at this point. He knows there's a 3rd. He sees the Templar. And it's hard to figure out what he should do. He's getting Cloak. He's going to do a Marine drop. But he's down on Army. He's down on economy. He's in a tough spot. He needs to play really well here.
Yeah, and he's actually going to decide to try to take out these tech structures here, but not quite able to.
Is that a Nexus?
Yeah, he
Puzzle
made a
is
Nexus there.
going to be taking it forward.
MMA sees it as well. And nice, putting the Marines back behind the Dark Shrine where they can't be surrounded.
Very nice. He's actually just using it to kill the Zealots here instead of taking out the tech structures.
Oh, he actually can't hit those Marines at all, it looks like.
Yeah, they're
It's
completely...
completely walled off.
And
finally, Dust Kick cleaned up.
Yeah, does not actually get the Dark Shrine. That would have been really good.
Yeah, 50 supply lead here for Puzzle at this point. It's looking pretty good. Nice has his High Templar out here at the front. He wants to split them up a little bit better. You might be saying, well, why does he have his High Templar out the front? That's dangerous. Well, the thing is, EMPs are going to hit those. You don't want them to hit anything else. Plus, if you have them out at the front, you can feedback ghosts sometimes really easily.
Yeah, or sometimes you can catch the Terran. They're like, I'm just going to move out a little bit on the map, and they run into a storm.
Exactly.
That would be huge. That would be game ending at this point.
Yeah, MMA just now trying to make his third command center.
Does he have full mana on his orbital? Check.
He's got 150 on both of his orbitals.
He's got a lot. And here is the big attack. Puzzle engaging when he's out of position. Cloak.
Oh,
very nice. Very nice EMPs.
Yeah, hitting all of those High Templar. And now the army of MMA is pretty strong. He's going to crush through these pylons. Scans here, tries to figure out if he can continue to push. He realizes I might be able to do this. He's cautiously moving forward. Doesn't stim again just yet. He has to be very wary of those High Templar, and it looks like he is going to back away now at this point. He may engage with the factory, but I don't think so.
Trying to use the factory to collapse on top of the Stalkers does not end up doing any damage.
And now finally, MMA has that third command center there. Not an orbital, not a planetary just yet, but he's got the command center. It's done. It's landed. He's mining
almost certainly, yes. It will be a planetary fortress. And MMA playing very good. Playing very, very good this game.
Yeah, and misses an EMP on those. There's just so many Zealots here. 1-1 upgrades against 2-2 upgrades.
There's the Storm. The Storm actually catching a lot of Zealots. The Zealots taking a ton of damage. You can see the turret denying any DTs or observers. A lot of those Zealots very weak. He's going to clean that up, but I don't know if he can really take the Stalkers.
Yeah, the problem is it's 2-2 upgrades versus 1-1 upgrades.
Yeah.
Part of that is the problem. Of course, this planetary will finish, and that's going to kind of make this an awkward engagement for Puzzle. He can't really get close to that. I think he's just going to take out some of these depots and back off. Most likely, he's got another base down at the 6 o'clock position. It's going to put him on 5 bases to just MMA is just now getting a third. Yeah. And these SCVs are coming around the side to try to help out, but the Archon's just cleaning them up so quickly. And I think this is going to be it for MMA.
Do you think so? MMA shouldn't feel too bad about this game. He definitely outplayed his opponent in the mid-game. Better micro, better engages. Puzzle did a very good job of dodging some of those EMPs towards the end of the game, but it was really the DTs that just set the whole tone.
Yeah, that's true. Part of the thing that Puzzle really got to as well was he actually had a really good time of taking his third, and he teched up appropriately. A lot of players don't. When they see the 1 racks expand and they're going for a 1 gate expand, they offer 2 gas, they're kind of like, what do I do now? Because I'm behind, I've got a lot of extra gas, what should I do next? And going for the Dark Templar was a really, really smart choice. And sometimes it can go badly for you, but what can you do? You can maybe try to take a quick third, but it's very difficult to do on a map that small. So good decision making overall, I think.
It usually ends up, if the Protoss will do some kind of 3 gate expand, pressure off the 2 gas, and then they have to turtle for a while and get their tech up. The one thing that's so frustrating about a game like that is MMA had the engineering bay. I've played games like that. You have the engineering bay, you're like, I'm ready for DTs. DTs roll in your main, you're like, I'm not ready for DTs. But just 2 turrets.
If I'm not mistaken, he actually dropped a mule like on top of a DT also.
I mean, yeah, I think
he got a little stressed out by the DTs.
The DTs were like running into his base, and he's like, mules, I need more money.